Hey, so 8 months ago I was sitting at this table, staring at my bank account, and I had $340 left. My rent was due in a week, and I remember thinking, nobody's coming. No recruiter. No callback. No miracle job offer. I have to figure this out myself. And I did. Not completely. I'm still figuring it out. But I found something that actually works. 2 platforms that together replaced my 9-to-5. And today, I want to show you exactly how. Because if you're over 50 and you've been laid off, or you're about to be, or you're just tired of sending applications into the void and hearing nothing back, this is for you. I'm going to break down the exact system I'm using, the real numbers, what's working, what's not, and the mistakes I made so you don't have to. So let me show you. But first, let me tell you how I got here. Because I think it matters. I spent decades in a career I thought was secure. I was good at what I did. I led projects. I managed people. I'd traveled for work. I felt important. And then one day, I was on a call with my manager and someone from HR I'd never met. Camera off. And I knew. You just know. They said something about restructuring, eliminating positions. And just like that, 25 years of building something meant nothing. I thought I'd bounce back quickly. I had experience. I had skills. I'd just find another job. I sent out over 300 applications, and I heard nothing. Or I'd get to a first interview, and they'd see my face on the Zoom call, and I could feel it. Too old. They never say it. But you know. And there was this guy I used to work with. He was 57 when they let him go. He'd been with the company over 20 years. Knew everything. Every client. Every system. And I ran into him months later at a grocery store. And he looked broken. Like he'd aged 20 years. He told me he was doing delivery driving. 12-hour shifts. No health insurance. And some nights, he was sleeping in his car because he couldn't afford rent and gas and food all at the same time. And he said, "I'm just trying to make it to 65. That's all I think about now. Just making it to Medicare." And I hugged him. And after he left, I sat in my car and cried. Because that could be me. That was going to be me if I didn't figure something out. And after months of rejection, I had this moment of clarity. I was scrolling job boards at 2 in the morning, and I realized I'm not going to get hired, not in the way I used to be. The world moved on, and I can either sit here waiting for permission, or I can build something myself. So I started building. I tried a bunch of things. I sold stuff on eBay. I did some freelance work. I tried a few platforms. And some of those brought in money. Small money, but real money. But the thing that actually changed everything, the thing that went from pocket change to actual income, it was 2 platforms working together, Substack and YouTube. And the reason they work isn't what you'd think. So let me explain. Here's the problem most people run into. They start a YouTube channel, or a blog, or a social media page, and they pour their energy into building an audience. And maybe they get some views. Maybe they get some followers. But they don't own any of it. YouTube can change the algorithm tomorrow, and your views drop by half. Instagram can throttle your reach. TikTok can ban you for no reason. You're building on rented land. And when you're over 50, with savings running out, you can't afford to build something that fragile. So here's what I figured out. You need a hub, and you need spokes. The hub is Substack. That's your email list. That's the thing you own. Nobody can take your email subscribers away from you. When you send an email, it lands in their inbox. No algorithm. No middleman. Just you and your reader. And Substack lets you do everything from that hub. Free content to grow your audience. Paid subscriptions for recurring revenue. You can sell workshops. deliver digital products. It's your home base. The spokes are everything else. YouTube, social media, podcasts, whatever. These are discovery engines. They bring new people into your world. But every spoke points back to the hub. Every video I make, every post, every comment, it all leads back to Substack. Because that's where the relationship deepens. That's where the money lives. And the beautiful thing? When you're over 50, you have something younger creators don't. You have life experience, you have stories, you have hard-won wisdom that people actually want to hear. I spent years thinking nobody wanted to hear from someone my age. Turns out thousands of people do. They're just waiting for someone to be honest with them. And if you're watching this from outside the US, whether you're in the UK, Canada, Australia, wherever, this system works globally. Substack accepts subscribers from any country. YouTube works everywhere. The principles are the same no matter where you are. Let me tell you about Substack specifically, because this is where the real magic happens. I started writing 2 to 3 times a week, and at first I didn't charge anything. I just wrote about what I was going through, what it's like to get laid off in your 50s, how to make money without a traditional job, the fear, the shame, the moments sitting at the kitchen table wondering if you're going to make it. And people started subscribing and emailing me, and some of them were going through the exact same thing. One of the first people who found me was a woman, 61 years old, who'd been let go from a job she held for 30 years. And she wrote me this email that said, "Thank you for being honest. Everyone keeps telling me to stay positive. But you're the first person who said, it's okay to be scared." And I realized this wasn't just about money. It was about connection, about building something that actually matters to real people. After a couple months, I had a few hundred free subscribers. And then I turned on paid. I was terrified. I charged $5 a month, or $50 a year. And I thought, who's going to pay for this? I'm not an expert. I'm just someone trying to figure it out. But people signed up. Here's my cadence: 2 to 3 posts a week. One is usually a behind-the-scenes income post. Real numbers. What I made, what I spent, what's working. People love transparency. One is a deeper piece about the emotional side of all this. And once a month, I include a paid offer, a workshop, a guide, something with extra value. Now here's the thing about list growth. About half my Substack subscribers come from YouTube. They watch a video, they click the link, they sign up. The other half find me through Substack's own discovery features, recommendations from other writers, the Substack app, search. So the two platforms feed each other, and the revenue is recurring. Every month, those paid subscribers pay me again. And as the list grows, the revenue grows with it. That's the part that makes this sustainable. That's what makes it different from selling stuff on eBay or doing gig work where you're starting from zero every single day. If I can get to 100 paid subscribers, I'm making $500 a month. If I can get to 200, I'm making $1,000. And that changes everything. And here's what really gets me. When I was working in corporate, I spent decades building campaigns and strategies and presentations. And none of it mattered. Not really. I helped sell products people didn't need. I made rich companies richer. And at the end of the day, what did I actually contribute? But this, writing on Substack, this matters. Because I'm actually helping people. Real people who are scared and alone and just need to know someone else understands what they're going through. Last week, a man emailed me. He's 58, got laid off from a tech job, and he said he'd been thinking about giving up. And he read one of my posts, and it gave him hope. He said, "Thank you for reminding me I'm not the only one. And that's worth more than money. That's worth more than any campaign I ever ran." Now let me talk about YouTube, which is what you're watching right now. I started this channel not knowing if anyone would care. I thought, maybe I'll just document what I'm going through. Maybe I'll feel less alone. And then people started watching, and subscribing, and leaving comments that made me cry. Someone wrote last week, "I'm 58 and I thought I was the only one going through this. Thank you for making me feel less invisible." And that's why I keep doing this. I post 1 to 2 videos a week, and I don't overthink them. I sit here with my phone and a cheap microphone, and I just talk, like I'm talking to a neighbor. Because that's what works. Nobody over 50 wants to watch someone with perfect lighting doing jump cuts every 2 seconds. They want to hear from a real person. And I share real numbers. What I'm making, what I'm spending, what's actually working, and what's not. Because I think people are starved for honesty. Now, the ad revenue from YouTube isn't life-changing. Each video takes me 3 to 4 hours when you include editing, and I'm making maybe $7 or $8 an hour from ads alone. But here's the thing. YouTube isn't just about ad revenue. It's about trust. When someone watches you talk for 15 minutes, they feel like they know you. And when they feel like they know you, they subscribe to your newsletter. They buy your paid content. They tell their friends. For sponsors, I'm selective. I only work with companies that make sense for my audience. I'd rather have 1 sponsor who's genuinely helpful than 5 that feel like a cash grab. Fit over volume. Always. So the money comes in layers. YouTube ad revenue is one layer. Sponsors are another. But the biggest layer is what YouTube drives to Substack. That's the engine. And the other thing about YouTube, and I don't think people talk about this enough, is that it saved me from the loneliness. Because the truth is, getting laid off is isolating. You lose your coworkers, you lose your routine, you lose your identity, and you spend a lot of time alone, wondering what you're supposed to do with your life. But every time someone leaves a comment saying, "Me too," or "I needed this," that loneliness shrinks a little. And that matters more than the ad revenue. Let me break down the monetization path, because I think this is where people get confused. Phase 1 is clients through content. You start creating, you start sharing what you know, and people reach out. Maybe they want coaching. Maybe they want consulting. Maybe they just want to pick your brain. This is the fastest path to real money, because you're trading expertise for income. And when you're over 50, you have decades of expertise. Phase 2 is where things start compounding. Your YouTube ad revenue grows as your channel grows. Sponsors find you because you have an engaged audience. And your paid Substack subscriptions start adding up. This is recurring revenue. This is what lets you sleep at night. Phase 3 is digital products layered on top. Ebooks, courses, templates, guides. Things you create once and sell over and over. I've been publishing some books through self-publishing platforms, and that's adding another stream. It's not huge yet, maybe $100 a month, but it's growing. And the beauty is, your Substack audience and your YouTube audience become the customers for those products. You don't have to go find buyers. They're already there, already trusting you. And the beauty of this whole system is that everything reinforces everything else. YouTube brings people in. Substack converts them. Products give them more value. And the whole thing compounds over time. Okay, now let me tell you about the mistakes. Because I made all of them. Mistake number 1, over-polishing. I spent my first month trying to make everything perfect. Perfect thumbnails, perfect scripts, perfect audio. And I published almost nothing. Meanwhile, people who just turned on their camera and talked were building audiences. Here's the truth. Done is better than perfect, especially when you're starting. You can improve as you go, but you can't improve something that doesn't exist. And your audience doesn't want perfection anyway. They want real. They want someone who sounds like them. Mistake number 2. Vague offers. For weeks, my Substack had no clear paid offer. I'd write great free content and then just hope people would pay. But hope isn't a strategy. You have to be clear about what people get when they pay. Spell it out. Make it specific. Make it valuable. I learned this the hard way when I finally wrote a clear description of what paid subscribers get, and signups tripled that week. Mistake number 3, burying the call to action. I'd make a 15-minute video and mention my Substack once in passing at minute 12. Nobody clicked, because by minute 12, half the viewers are gone. Now, I mention it early. I mention it naturally. I say, if this resonates with you, I go deeper on this in my newsletter, and I put the link where people can find it. Not pushy, just clear. And I want to be honest with you about something. I haven't figured it all out yet. I'm not sitting here telling you I've cracked the code. Some months are good. Some months, I'm covering the gap with savings. But the trajectory is up. And more importantly, I'm not waiting for someone to hire me anymore. I'm not refreshing my inbox, hoping for an interview that never comes. I'm building something, on my own terms, where I control my time and my income. And I think about all those years I spent working for someone else, trading my life energy for a salary, missing moments with the people I love because of some urgent project that nobody remembers now. And I think about the people I've known who gave everything to their employers and got nothing back, who got discarded the moment they became inconvenient. I'm not doing that anymore. I think about all the people I've connected with through this work. People like that woman who emailed me about being scared. People like the man who was ready to give up. People in the comments of every video who say, I thought I was the only one. We're not the only ones. There are so many of us. And the system I'm showing you today, Substack as your hub, YouTube as your spoke, it's not just a money strategy. It's a way to build something that matters, something that connects you to people, something that gives you purpose on the days when purpose feels impossible to find. The future is unwritten, and for the first time in a long time, I'm the one holding the pen. So if you are in this same place, over 50, figuring out what comes next, scared, but still trying, I want you to know you're not alone. There are thousands of us, maybe millions, and we're all building something from whatever we've got. So here's what I want you to do. If this video helped, subscribe. And go join my Substack. I put a link in the description. When you sign up, you'll get a free starter kit that walks you through exactly how to set up your own hub and spoke system. Step by step. No fluff. And leave a comment. Tell me your story. Tell me what you're building. Because I want to know. And maybe we can figure this out together. Because you've got skills. You've got experience. You've got stories worth telling. And somebody out there needs to hear them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.